No NFL team is flawless heading into the 2025 season. Some seem to have a shaky offensive line, a thin secondary, or uncertainty under center. Every roster has at least one weak link that could derail playoff hopes. These flaws don't always grab headlines, but they show up when it matters. Late in games, under pressure, or during playoff pushes. Here's a team-by-team breakdown of the single biggest flaw that could hold each of the 32 franchises back as the 2025 season gets underway. Let's start with AFC East. AFC East. 1. Buffalo Bills. Trading away Stephon Diggs and losing Gabe Davis in free agency left a significant void in Buffalo's receiving core. Josh Allen now relies heavily on rookie Keon Coleman, who has the size and upside, but lacks NFL experience. Tight end Dalton Kincaid could help fill the gap, yet there's no proven deep threat on the outside. Without more established options, Buffalo risks becoming predictable against elite secondaries, especially if Coleman doesn't emerge quickly. 2. Miami Dolphins. Miami's offense is built on speed and timing, but none of it works without a stable offensive line. Injuries to key starters like Taron Armstead and Austin Jackson have derailed momentum for 2 straight seasons. The depth behind them is thin, and Tua Tagovailoa's style of play doesn't allow for many hits. If the line breaks down again, the offense loses its rhythm, and Tua's long-term durability remains a looming concern. 3. New York Jets. The Jets enter 2025 with a playoff-caliber roster, except at quarterback. Justin Fields remains a massive question mark, and without consistent QB play, this offense may stall again. The pass rush has also regressed after off-season departures, and offensive line cohesion is still a work in progress despite high draft capital. A clear WR2 behind Garrett Wilson is also lacking. While the defense, especially the secondary, looks elite, this team's postseason hopes hinge entirely on Fields' development and the offensive line holding up. 4. New England Patriots. Drake May enters a rebuilding situation without a true number 1 receiver. Offensive line consistency remains a concern, particularly in pass protection. Despite having Stephon Diggs, the receiving core lacks depth and proven durability. On defense, integrating new additions into a cohesive unit is key, while the interior defensive line raises depth concerns. Wide receiver development has also been an ongoing struggle, limiting the offense's overall explosiveness. AFC North. 5. Cincinnati Bengals. After reshuffling the secondary in 2024, Cincinnati enters 2025 with more questions than answers. The departure of Chidobe Awuzie removes a veteran presence, while Dax Hill's role remains uncertain after an underwhelming transition. Young corners will need to step up quickly, especially in a division where teams like Pittsburgh and Baltimore have invested in their passing attacks. Without improvement, coverage lapses could become costly. 6. Baltimore Ravens. Despite a deep roster and elite defense, the Ravens' most glaring 2025 concern is self-inflicted damage, specifically pre-snap penalties. This was a recurring issue in 2024 and has already reappeared in camp with multiple false starts and miscommunications plaguing the offensive line. Starting tackles Ronnie Stanley and Roger Rosengarten along with guard Ben Cleveland have all been flagged repeatedly. With Super Bowl aspirations, the Ravens can't afford to sabotage drives before the snap. If uncorrected, these mental lapses could undermine an otherwise championship-caliber team. 7. Pittsburgh Steelers. While the Steelers' defense remains elite, headlined by TJ Watt and a turnover-hungry front, the offense still hinges on a shaky offensive line. Rookie additions Troy Fautanu and Zach Frazier offer promise, but the unit as a whole is unproven. Broderick Jones' position switch adds to the uncertainty. The secondary also showed cracks late in 2024, struggling with penalties, missed tackles, and aging vets like Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay. Without stability up front or improved coverage, Pittsburgh's playoff ceiling could be capped. 8. Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's offensive line, once dominant, is starting to show signs of wear. Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller have been foundational pieces, but both are approaching the tail ends of their primes. Injuries have started to pile up, and depth has thinned. If the line regresses, Deshaun Watson will face added pressure to perform, something he's yet to do consistently in Cleveland. AFC South. 9. Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars have two strong starters in Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker. But beyond that, the edge room is paper thin. Their heavy snap counts last season revealed a glaring lack of trust in the backups. Post-draft addition Emmanuel Ogbah brings veteran presence, but Miles Cole and Yasser Abdullah remain question marks. Without proven depth behind their starters, Jacksonville risks fatigue or injury derailing their pass rush, an area too important to leave this vulnerable in a playoff push. 10. Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson brings electricity to the offense, but the defense still lacks experience in the secondary. The cornerback unit remains young and unproven, especially in man coverage. In a division with Trevor Lawrence and C.J. Stroud, that vulnerability could be exploited frequently if growth doesn't come fast enough. 11. Tennessee Titans. Tennessee made moves to bolster the tackle positions, but the offensive line still raises concerns. Center and guard spots lack depth, creating a potential pressure point for defenses to exploit. If protection collapses from the inside, Will Levis's ability to step up in the pocket and stay in rhythm could take a major hit, disrupting the offense's ability to move the chains consistently. 12. Houston Texans. Houston enters the season with high expectations, especially on defense, but the secondary remains fragile. Injuries to key players like Derek Stingley Jr. and Jimmy Ward down the stretch in 2024 exposed the unit's thin depth. Without consistent health in the defensive backfield, opponents will target mismatches and force this group to hold up in one-on-one coverage far more than it should. AFC West. 13. Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City remains the NFL's gold standard, but the wide receiver group is once again the soft spot on the roster. Rashee Rice's availability is uncertain due to possible league discipline, and while Xavier Worthy brings elite speed, he's an unproven rookie. Travis Kelce can't carry the entire passing game forever. At some point, the lack of consistent production outside could slow down the league's most dangerous offense. 14. Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers handed the offense fully to Justin Herbert, but stripped away his most experienced targets. Letting go of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams leaves Herbert relying on young, mostly unproven options. Ladd McConkey looks like a strong addition, but the group lacks the kind of veteran reliability usually found in elite passing attacks. If the new pieces don't click quickly, Los Angeles could struggle to keep pace in a competitive division. 15. Denver Broncos. Denver is betting on Bo Nix to start from day one, but that comes with risk. Rookie quarterbacks typically struggle to adjust to NFL speed, and while Sean Payton's system can help, there's no proven backup ready to step in if Nix falters. With a thin receiving chorus and modest line play, putting it all on a first-year player might backfire. 16. Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas enters another season with major concerns up front. Colton Miller is solid at left tackle, but the rest of the offensive line is full of question marks. Veterans and late-round prospects are being asked to stabilize the pocket for a team still searching for a long-term answer at quarterback. With pass protection likely to remain inconsistent, the offense may never find its rhythm. NFC East. 17. Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia has talent across the board, but linebacker continues to be overlooked. The position was a liability last season, particularly against teams that committed to the run. Nakobe Dean hasn't stepped up as hoped, and depth behind him is shaky. For a team with Super Bowl aspirations, ignoring this flaw could prove costly in key matchups. 18. Dallas Cowboys. Dallas has an elite edge rush, but the interior defensive line doesn't generate enough disruption. Opposing offenses often find success running up the gut, especially late in games. Without a force inside to clog lanes and collapse pockets, the overall defense stays vulnerable in high-pressure moments. 19. New York Giants. The Giants once again face serious issues along the offensive line. Andrew Thomas remains the lone reliable piece, but injuries, poor development, and underperformance plague the rest of the unit. Until the line improves, it won't matter who's under center. Offensive progress will stay stalled. 20. Washington Commanders. Washington drafted Jaden Daniels as the franchise quarterback, but he'll be thrown into the fire behind a questionable offensive line. The unit struggled to keep pass rushers out of the backfield in 2024, and while some upgrades were made, uncertainty remains at multiple spots. Poor protection could derail his rookie season before it gets going. NFC North. 21. Detroit Lions. Detroit made strides defensively, but the cornerback room remains a weak link. Carlton Davis has been let go as an unrestricted free agent. Rookie Terrion Arnold might need time to adjust. In a division full of ascending receivers, this could be a problem if the pass rush doesn't hit home. 22. Green Bay Packers. The Packers' defense has young talent at corner and linebacker, but the safety group lacks proven starters. New additions like Javon Bullard may help, but relying on rookies to stabilize the back end is risky. Miscommunication could lead to big plays early in the season. 23. Minnesota Vikings. While Minnesota boasts top-tier talent across the board, elite offensive tackles, a dynamic receiving core, and a disruptive defense, the biggest question mark heading into 2025 is rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy. The team has built a strong support system around him, but he remains untested at the NFL level. If he struggles to adjust to pro speed or decision-making under pressure, it could derail an otherwise playoff-ready roster. Minnesota's season hinges on how quickly McCarthy can grow into the role. 24. Chicago Bears. In Chicago, the defense hasn't caught up to the offense yet. The Bears overhauled their offensive core with Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, but the defensive line, especially the interior, remains thin. Montez Sweat gives them a legitimate edge presence, but teams that attack through the middle might find little resistance. In a division with physical offensive lines and run-heavy schemes, that vulnerability could lead to long, punishing drives that keep the Bears' offense off the field. NFC South. 25. Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta has solved its quarterback conundrum by signing Kirk Cousins, but the pass defense still lags behind. While A.J. Terrell continues to play at a Pro Bowl level, there's not much proven talent behind him. In today's NFL, facing multiple wide receiver sets is the norm, and Atlanta could struggle to keep up, especially against deeper NFC passing attacks. The weakness may not always be apparent in divisional play, but it could prove decisive against teams like Dallas or Philadelphia. 26. New Orleans Saints. For New Orleans, the offensive line has become a major liability, largely due to health. Over the past 2 seasons, key starters have missed extended time. Trevor Penning hasn't developed into the cornerstone left tackle the team hoped for, and Ryan Ramczyk's chronic knee issues threaten his long-term availability. Without consistency in the trenches, Derek Carr won't have the time or protection to find rhythm. That instability ripples through the entire offense. 27. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay continues to field one of the league's weakest rushing attacks. Rachaad White has shown flashes, but he lacks the burst or vision to transform the ground game. Opposing defenses don't fear Tampa's run game, which lets them focus on pressuring Baker Mayfield and blanketing Mike Evans. In tight matchups, especially late in games, the absence of a reliable rushing option becomes a serious handicap. 28. Carolina Panthers. Carolina has shored up its trenches and added intriguing weapons for Bryce Young, but a glaring concern remains at deep safety. The Panthers lack a rangy, dependable playmaker who can cover sideline to sideline and prevent explosive plays. This hole could expose the secondary, especially if opponents take advantage of deep coverage mismatches. Even with an upgraded pass rush, the back end of the defense could unravel late in games if not addressed. NFC West. 29, San Francisco 49 ERs. The 49 ERs face 2025 with clear concerns despite their playoff pedigree. Brock Purdy improved notably, earning trust as a starter, while Christian McCaffrey remains a mismatch when healthy. However, Brandon Ayuk is expected to begin on the PUP list, and Ricky Pearsall's hamstring issues raise depth concerns. Jawan Jennings emerged as a reliable physical WR2. The offensive line is a major red flag. Aging Trent Williams and shallow depth could sink the unit. While Shanahan's scheme gives confidence, the combination of health questions and deteriorating trenches may force San Francisco into an early season hole, needing a late season push to recover. 30 Los Angeles Rams. The Rams' biggest concern for 2025 lies squarely in their defense, specifically the inside linebacker unit and a shaky secondary. Despite a nasty pass rush led by Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, they're vulnerable over the middle and deep. Pro Football Network ranks their defense among the NFL's worst, exposing gaps that could negate Stafford's offensive firepower. If they can't patch the back end, even McVay's brilliance may not be enough. 31, Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks' revamped defense may be ready to bully opponents, but their offensive line remains a big concern, especially for a quarterback like Sam Darnold who needs time to throw. Seattle gave up 54 sacks last season, and not enough has changed up front to guarantee improvement. If the trenches collapse again, even their explosive passing weapons and strong defense won't be enough to keep the offense moving. 32, Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals lack impact players up front. They've added young talent, but no one has emerged as a true difference maker. Without pressure from the front, opposing quarterbacks have too much time to work, and the defense suffers. While every team has its flaws, not all weaknesses carry the same weight when it comes to making or missing the playoffs. Teams like the Vikings, Seahawks, and Falcons could see promising seasons collapse if their problem areas aren't fixed fast. Meanwhile, even playoff regulars like the 49 ERs and Bills can't afford to ignore the issues of depth. Injuries will only magnify these weak spots. Solid rosters can't survive if their foundation is cracked. If you liked this video, make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We regularly post videos on NFL. So if you want more of these analysis and team reviews heading into the 2025 season, don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, it's goodbye.